People in the East, Midwest, and the Plains are bracing for bitterly cold temperatures expected to stick around until after the new year. Extreme weather is already setting records this week in some parts of the U.S. A Christmas storm dumped more than 60 inches of snow in Erie, Pennsylvania, marking a new high there. And speaking of, a new winter storm is due for our region later this week, and the City of Billings snowplow crews plan to hit the streets hard. Full 20-man crews working 12-hour shifts have already plowed snow into berms. This as the city caught some heat from not plowing over the Christmas weekend, but are also planning for a half-foot of snow in this weekend's Billings area forecast. That's also when crews will begin plowing residential streets. Public Works asked drivers not to drive through the snow berms as it could cause damage to your vehicle and takes extra time to clean up. On to court news. The man accused of operating a prostitution ring involving minors is arraigned on new charges related to promoting prostitution in Billings and Missoula. 35-year-old Terrence Edwards pleaded not guilty in U.S. District Court in Billings to a new 11-count indictment. Prosecutors allege Edwards trafficked at least 6 victims, including 3 minors. The victims told investigators Edwards abused them if they did not comply. One woman said Edwards forced her to walk the streets of Salt Lake City until she had sex with as many as 20 customers in one night. The crimes took place in Montana, Utah, and Washington state for over a year. Edwards is being held at the Yellowstone County Jail. Meanwhile, a man is accused of trying to burn down his friend's apartment in Billings after the friend kicked him out over suspicion that he was stealing from him. 50-year-old Charles Caplet made his initial appearance in Yellowstone County Justice Court Tuesday on charges of arson and criminal endangerment. Caplet was arrested this weekend after he allegedly set fire on his friend's home on the 200 block of North 18th Street this past Saturday. The victim reported he let Caplet stay with him short-term, but told him to leave when he discovered that some of his belongings were missing. Caplet apparently became so upset he allegedly set the window on fire. The victim was able to put the flames out, but there was still notable damage. Caplet, who is on probation for an assault, is being held at the Yellowstone County Jail. Elsewhere, the family of a Butte man who died in 2010 while working on an oil storage tank in Sydney is suing ExxonMobil for exposing the victim to dangerous gases. Up until his death, Trent Vigas worked in Richland County for a Texas corporation that provided services to XTO Energy. A co-worker found Vigas's lifeless body slumped over an open hatch in the oil storage tank. According to the complaint, frac wells are known to produce dangerous concentrations of toxic gases. The victim's family alleges XTO negligently exposed Vigas to the deadly gas. The coroner ruled that Vigas died from a heart attack. The family is asking for an unspecified amount over $75,000 to be determined at trial. In other news, the Montana Lottery will be awarding an additional $38,000 in prizes during this Friday's Montana Millionaire drawing. The additional drawings are due to an operator error in defining the number of instant winners when the game sold out on October 15th. 77 additional winning numbers will be drawn, with each one worth $500. Only tickets that were not already instant winners will qualify for this special drawing, and the winners will still be eligible for the $1 million grand prize. People are encouraged to reach out to the lottery if they have any questions or think they've won this week. The 2017 Montana Millionaire drawing will be held at 10 a.m. this coming Friday. Well, now that the holidays are over, the cleanup begins. If you're looking to get rid of your tree and get your living room back to normal, there are a few options. The city your tree for regular pickup, but they encourage recycling instead. There are a number of locations where you can do that. In Laurel, it's Magnum Development. For Lockwood residents, you can recycle your trees at Lockwood School. Drop-off location in Shepherd is at the high school. In Huntley, you can recycle your tree at the United Methodist Church parking lot. And here in Billings, you can drop off your tree at Zoo Montana, where it will be recycled for use in animal enclosures as well as pathways around the zoo. We're our last story this morning. It's official. We are the nation's worst drivers. An insurance website has ranked Montana as having the worst drivers in the country based on a number of categories. The website Car Insurance Comparison recently released an annual review that places the Treasure State in first place in 2017 for the third time in 4 years. Montana also garnered the top spot in 2014 and 2015. Wyoming ranked 21st. The review used data in 5 categories, including fatality rate, failure to obey, drunk driving, speeding, and careless driving, taken from the U.S. Department of Transportation's National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The worst rankings were failure to obey, which Montana came in first, and fatality rate in at second. Drunk driving and speeding came in at 4th and 6th. Montana had its best ranking at 29 for careless driving.